So I'll call this meeting to order. Before we get started, let's introduce everyone on the meeting. I'm Sandy Brock. When I call your name, please confirm you can hear me by verifying that you are present. I'm going to start with the commissioners and Jonathan.
I can hear you, and I'm here.
Yes. Thank you for the confirming that you're actually here. I'm sorry, a little punchy today, so forgive me. Betsy.
Present.
Thank you. We'll go through staff. Leah.
I'm here.
And Jan.
Present.
Okay, and then we'll ask the speakers that are scheduled for tonight if you could just unmute yourself and let us know that you can hear us. For 141 Brigham Hill, Tim White. Doesn't look like he's here yet.
Tom White is on.
Okay, sorry, there's a little typo. Kendra Santa Maria.
This is Elizabeth of Gary Aaron Hellman. I'm in place of Kendra.
Okay. 45 Creeper Hill. Scott.
Present.
Thank you. 100 Westboro, Essex.
How's it going?
Not too bad. I'm going by your site on a daily basis, so I get to
Good.
see
I
it.
hope you're. Yeah, there's a lot going on, so it's actually fun to stop and watch for a little bit. It's good activity, and just as in previous meetings, I've got Mark and Matt here with me as well.
And if you two could just quickly unmute and just say hi, just so we know that everything's working.
Hello, this is working on my end.
Thank you very much.
And hello, Matt Leidner here.
Thank you. All right. The open meeting of the Conservation Commission is being conducted remotely via Zoom pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12th, 2020 order as extended on June 15th, 2021, February 12th, 2022, and July 16th of 2022. Access information for the public, it has been provided on the town website. Please note that this meeting is being recorded. Please remember to mute your phone or computer when you are not speaking. If you're using a dial-in by telephone feature, you can mute yourself by pressing *6. As chair, I will introduce each speaker on the agenda. Please note that you will not have screen sharing privileges, but staff can display any visuals per your cue. After speakers conclude their remarks, I will invite each commissioner by name to provide any comments, questions, or motions. After commissioners have spoken, I will allow public comments to be spoken by participants. Participants must use the raise hand feature by clicking the hand icon at the bottom right of the Zoom menu bar and to indicate they would like to speak. Excuse me for one moment. Okay. If you are using a dial-in by telephone feature, please press *6 to raise your hand and *9 to raise your hand and *6 to unmute when you are called on. Participants who raise their hands will be recognized one at a time by their name and then will be promoted to speak. Public comments will be followed by commission and applicant responses. Finally, each vote taken will be conducted by roll call vote. As a reminder, the commission is concerned with state and town wetlands and stormwater regulations. Concerns outside this purview need to be addressed to the appropriate boards. For example, road conditions must be addressed with the select board and traffic concern must be addressed with the planning board. All right, Leah, what can we take up for action items?
We can just go down the list if you want.
Sure. So we can start with meeting minutes. Go to the commissioners. If anyone has any comments or questions, please let me know. And Jonathan, anything?
Nope, nothing.
And Betsy, anything?
No,
Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the meeting minutes of the July 26th Conservation Commission meeting.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call vote. Betsy.
Yes.
Jonathan.
Yes.
I am also a yes. The motion carries. First up for request for certificate of compliance is 164 is DEP number 164 956 Elmrock Estate Subdivision. Leah, any comments on that?
We have as-built plans for that. I sent them to Graves Engineering to check out the stormwater. That was satisfied, and then I was waiting for confirmation that their erosion control came out, and they did that today. So I would recommend issuing the COC.
All right, thank you very much. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the request for a certificate of compliance for Elm Rock Estates subdivision.
Second,
Second.
we have a motion and a second. Roll call vote. Betsy,
Yes.
Jonathan,
Yes.
I am also a yes, the motion carries. Up next is 141 Brigham Hill Road. Leah, any comments on this one?
This one is their old order for previous work, which is all set. We'll be seeing them tonight for new work under an RDA, but this order is all set. All the conditions have been met, excuse me.
Okay. And you recommend issuing the certificate?
Correct.
Thank you very much. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the request for certificate of compliance for 141 Brigham Hill Road.
Second,
Second.
motion and a second. Roll call vote. Betsy,
Yes.
Jonathan,
Yes.
I am also a yes, the motion carries. Okay. Should we take 120 and 73 McGill Drive together?
Sure.
And recommendations?
Yeah, this is two more houses in Highfields to do partials for. These individual lots are all set and all the conditions pertaining to them are satisfied. We will be seeing requests to close out larger orders for Highfields probably on the next meeting. So we shouldn't have to do too many more of these partials, but 120 and 73 McGill, I recommend issuing partials.
Thank you very much. Do I have a motion?
Yep. I make a motion for approval of partial certificates of compliance for 120 and 73 McGill Drive.
A second,
Second.
roll call vote. Betsy,
Yes.
Jonathan,
Yes.
I am also a yes, the motion carries. 22 Meadow Lane, Leah?
This is another partial from the larger order for the subdivision. This lot is all set. All the conditions pertaining to it are satisfied. So I recommend issuing another partial.
All right, thank you very much. Do I
I
have a motion?
make a motion for approval of partial certificate of compliance for 22 Meadow Lane.
Second?
Second.
Excuse me, a motion second has been made. Roll call vote. Betsy,
Yes.
Jonathan,
Yes.
I'm also a yes. The motion passes. Okay. 21 Wheeler Road.
Yeah, this was the one that we left outstanding at the last meeting out of a handful of lots in Elm Rock Estates.
Yep.
This one we had been waiting on a no disturb barrier being put in. The split rail fence was installed, so I recommend issuing the COC.
All right, thank you very much. Do I have a motion?
Yes. I make a motion to approve a certificate of compliance for 21 Wheeler Road.
Second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote. Betsy,
Yes.
Jonathan,
Yes.
I am also a yes, the motion carries.
We do have an attendee who raised her hand.
Oh, okay,
Gonna
sure,
promote her to talk.
yes.
Yes, hi. I just was curious. It has to do with the fact that the DPE sign for the whole properties in my front yard, since you guys approved that, will that be coming out pretty soon? There's a big sign that says DEP and then it has the code number like directly in my front
Yep.
yard. I haven't taken that out yet.
Okay, so
That's the only thing. The fence is in, the plastic is gone, and it looks so much better, but that sign is still there.
Leah, has the entire site been got a certificate of compliance yet, or?
Yeah, we just issued that a couple minutes
Okay.
ago.
Okay, so that sign can come down now?
Do they take it out? Do I take it out? Do you take it out? Who takes it out? I guess maybe that's a better question.
Okay, good way of stating that. It is typically the applicant, which would be the contractor in this case.
Okay.
I would also maybe recommend requesting if you can take it out. At this point, we don't care who takes it out.
Okay, well, I can email their lawyer and bug them and see if they will, and if not, my husband.
Yeah.
will keep them, but-
Yeah, Leah, there's no reason for it to stay now that's been
No, I can
Okay.
ask them to take it down.
Okay, all right.
All
That's basically wanted to ask if we have permission to take that sign out because
Great.
it's still there. It's the one thing they left, basically.
Someone probably figured it, they couldn't take it down, but it's
Yeah.
fine to take down now. So
Okay, all right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
you're welcome. Have a good one.
You too.
Okay. Where did I leave off?
45 Creeper Hill Road COC request.
Okay, recommendations?
So this is the old order that we're currently working with Scott on his new one, which we'll talk about later in the meeting tonight. So this is the old one to close out because no work happened
Okay.
under it.
All right. And I'll just, because Scott Morrison's on, I'll ask him quickly if he has anything to say. Otherwise, we'll move along with this.
In the order, I just requested a specific language, just to be very clear that this will be closed out upon issuance of the new order conditions, final order of conditions, as stated in the application.
Okay. There's no problem with us making that part of the motion, correct, Leah? It's more a timing thing than anything else.
Right. Maybe we should just hold this one till we work on his hearing tonight
Yeah,
and
it's
make
one of
sure
those.
that we're issuing that.
Yep. Yeah, it's one of those which comes first. So since we're hearing that later on, Scott, we can make sure when we get close to that, we can then, issue the certificate of compliance for this one here, just so that the timing works and that you're not caught without an order. That's all.
Perfect. Thank
All
you.
right. Highfield subdivision conservation restriction.
We should save that for later.
Okay. Anything else that we could take care of?
Well, it is
before-
7:15.
It's perfect timing. Oh my words. Okay. Let me see here. 7:15 RDA 141 Brigham Hill. Okay. Pursuant to the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act and the Grafton Wetlands Protection Bylaw, Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing to act upon a request for determination of applicability for the construction of a house addition and deck at 141 Brigham Hill Road. If you're here to speak to this, please just give your name and a short presentation or short discussion of what you're doing.
Double unmuted myself. My name is Elizabeth Mainini. I am from Darriere and Helnan. Here to, I just want to pull up the plan for my own. Here for a addition onto the existing home that was constructed or put there was reconstruction, I guess, really, to the that you just issued the certificate of compliance for. It's a relatively small addition. There's about 200 feet within the 100-foot buffer. And there's probably another 200 square feet that's outside of the buffer. It's kind of tucked into a corner of the existing house. It's all existing lawn area, so there's no, it's all within the existing limit of the work from the previous order. So we are proposing erosion control and don't believe 83. We are not proposing to have the structure any closer to the wetland than the proposed portion of the structure isn't proposed any closer to the wetland than any portion of the existing structure. So no impervious closer to the wetland is, I guess, what I'm really trying to say. I don't think there was anything else terribly dramatic about this, so I'm happy to answer any questions.
Leah, your report?
Sorry, I muted myself. I didn't have any questions or anything. I just had a suggestion for a condition that no disturb signage be installed as they're showing on the plan.
Okay, and that's the 25 feet.
Yeah.
Okay. Just a quick question. Is that about the tree line?
Yes, it is.
All
Okay.
right, thank you.
And, Tom, you put those in already, right?
Those are all in. I submitted pictures last night to the Conservation Commission already.
That's
All
right.
right.
Sorry, my bad.
Okay, well, that's fine. It's still, appreciate it. It'll have, it'll have a condition on it, but you've already met it. And so
Yeah,
you'll still get a negative determination and
yeah.
just making sure that the homeowner knows that a negative determination is actually what you're looking for. So it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
So, okay. First go around very quickly to commissioners to see if they have any other question. Betsy, any questions?
Questions?
Jonathan, any questions?
No questions.
All right, I will now open it up to the public. If anyone has any questions, please use your raise hand feature as I talk a little bit, just to give you a moment if there is anyone here to discuss or to ask questions on this request for determination for 141 Brigham Hill Road. Anything, Leah?
I gotta get out of full screen. Nope, I don't see anybody.
Okay. Not seeing any public questions or comments. Do I have a motion?
Yes, I make a motion for a negative determination for 141 Brigham Hill Road.
Second.
All right, and that's with the condition of the no disturb signs. Motion in a second. So roll call vote. Betsy?
Yes.
Jonathan?
Yes.
I am also a yes. The motion carries.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too. All right.
Thank you.
Should we be reading in this continuance?
Yeah, there's two of them.
Okay. Hold on just a second. Let me go back to the other sheet. Okay. So pursuant to the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act, the Grafton Wetlands Protection Bylaw, the Grafton Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing to act upon a notice of intent and application for Grafton Wetlands Bylaw permit to rebuild a portion of an existing walking trail at 5 and 11 Wheeler Road. Could you, sorry, could you hold on for just a moment?
Yeah.
Oops, please excuse that. Someone was at my front door. I'll get back to this. All right. So the applicant has requested a continuance for 15 and 11R Wheeler Road. Do I have a motion for this continuance?
I make a motion to grant a continuance for 5 and 11R Wheeler Road.
Second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call vote. Betsy?
Yes.
Jonathan?
Yes.
I am also a yes. The motion carries.
Just to note, I'm not sure if it was in the vote, but it's September 6th.
Thank
Oh.
you for the reminder.
Do you want me to amend that, Leah?
Sure.
I make a motion to grant a continuance to September 6th for 5 and 11R Wheeler Road.
Second.
Roll call vote. Betsy?
Yes.
Jonathan?
Yes.
I am also a yes. That amendment carries. All right. Pursuant to the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act and the Grafton Wetlands Protection Bylaw, Grafton Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing to act upon abbreviated notice of resource area delineation at 35 Crosby Road. The applicant has requested a continuance to September 6th. I can't believe our next meeting's in September. That's a different topic. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to grant a continuance to September 6th for 35 Crosby Road.
second,
We've got a motion, a second. Roll call vote. Betsy
Yes.
and Jonathan.
yes,
And I'm also a yes. The motion to continue has been carried. Okay. So everything else is continuance, correct?
Yep,
So we can just take them right in order?
sure.
Sounds great. Great idea. Pursuant to the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act and the Grafton Wetlands Protection Bylaw, the Grafton Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on to act upon a notice of intent applicant for Grafton Wetlands Protection Bylaw permit for the construction of a single-family house at 45 Creeper Hill Road. And whoever's Scott, if you're here, if you could
Yes,
give your name and address and please present.
Scott Morrison, 152 Winter Hill Road. If you recall at the last meeting, we had, well, actually going back even further, we had approved the driveway coming onto the property, which was within a driveway easement. Conservation Commission approved that, subsequently went to the ZBA for relief. They denied my zoning variance. So we required it to shift southerly back onto the property. So it required some kind of modifications to the impacts, to a little bit of BVW impact and BLSF impact, which I tried to avoid. So we've provided updated plans. At the last meeting, the commission, I think we really simply just continued it, just simply to allow the request for certificate of compliance that we discussed earlier to be submitted.
Submit it. Yeah. Understood. And just as a little background for anyone who happens to be in attendance, so this has been an ongoing process. And we had already previously, as Scott mentioned, approved a order of conditions, but because the ZBA denied a variance and a waiver, then Scott is back in front of us. Let me see here. So Leah, what is, as far as your report goes,
So I can't remember if we discussed this last time. It was on our list, but I don't know if we talked about it. But the breakdown of BLSF per flood elevation, because I did notice that there's zero compensation proposed between 357 and 358. That's really my only outstanding note.
can you bring up just a plan so we can look at it? Is it the highest elevation?
It's actually the lowest elevation, which is it's technically BVW, not BLSF. And then we've provided substantially additional, let me see. Let me look at the plans. So we've got 264 square feet of BVW fill and 595 square feet of compensatory flood storage.
Yeah, and so basically previously you had a lot more of the bordering lands subject to flooding square footage.
That's correct.
That was previously 33,450 square feet. Now that's down to 300 square feet.
Correct.
Previously, you didn't have any BVW alterations. Now you have 264. And as far as your compensation of that, you just mentioned it, that you have about twice as much. So
Yeah,
you've-
so we've provided, so we've got 276 cubic feet of BLSF fill, and we provide 300 cubic feet of flood storage, and BVW wetland impacts is 264 square feet of fill and 595 square feet of replication.
Okay.
Can you just say those BLSF numbers one more time?
Yep. 276 cubic feet of fill and 300 cubic feet of storage provided. And bordering vegetated wetland is 264 square feet of fill and 595 square feet of replication.
Can you zoom into the replication and mitigation area?
Yeah, that's why I asked for a repeat, because I wasn't seeing the 300.
Okay, so
Oh,
you've
did I
got,
get my numbers wrong? I might have transcribed that wrong. Looks like on the plan, it's 280 cubic feet.
and then can you just pan to the area that was being filled for the flood?
So the fill area is that dash line right next to the 364 line and just next to the riprap outfall near flag B9.
Okay, so that's where the filling is occurring.
Correct.
Okay. Can you zoom into that area? I'm just looking at the elevations to respond to your comment, Leah, about the elevation. So that's like 360 to 362.
Correct.
In the area of flood storage that's being compensated is down below at the same replication area,
Correct.
and that's at a lower elevation.
Yeah, it'll be below that
Okay,
359 extending down.
yep.
We can certainly have them dig it a little bit deeper. It's not.
No, it's not the depth at all. It's the elevation. So
Right.
yeah, how typically you have to do 1 for 1. So, but this whole area is lower because you're doing the replication. I'm just trying to. What's the fill elevation again? I think it's a couple feet higher, right?
I think it's from 3.
So it's
Still
360.
between 357 and 359.2.
Okay. And you go back to the replication area. So yeah, typically it's just a matter of doing it each incremental foot. This
Right.
looks more like a calculation than it is anything else. You have plenty of room to do it in this area, and you're at the right elevations. Let me go around to the other commissioners first to see if they have any other questions on this. I'm suggesting that it's a matter of coming back with it split down per each elevation, and it's gonna be
Yeah,
fairly
it's right on
easy
the
to do.
plan.
Yeah.
It's,
Go ahead.
it's written right on the plan, the incremental. flood
Oh, it
storage.
is? Oh,
Yeah, if
okay.
you pan over to the
Left.
left,
Okay.
right there.
So the 0 is what made me raise this point.
And it's 24 cubic feet. And
Correct.
that's
And
because
that's-
it's in the wetlands.
Technically, it's BVW, and he provided the incremental flood storage, but he didn't parse out whether it's BLSF or BVW. So part of that's going to be that lowest elevation will be proposed BVW replication.
Then maybe we just need an updated plan to say that, and
Yeah.
it could be a condition.
I'm leaning towards everything's on here. It's just that particular specific
Okay.
detail that we can just get it updated and have it cleared on the plan as a condition. So
Okay. That's reasonable.
yeah, let me check. Betsy, any questions on this?
No,
Okay. Jonathan, any questions?
Nope.
Okay. All right. we're not going to be doing any motions yet. First, let's go out to the public. If there's anyone that's, that has any questions or comments, please raise your hand. Happy to listen to and try to get any answers for any questions. Okay. We're going to be looking to close out the previous order of conditions. So if there are any questions, you can always raise your hand because it'll take us a couple of minutes to do that. Leah, this is a good time to close out.
Sure.
Just because I'd rather have it off the books, so to speak, and then we'll deal with issuing the next one. Okay. So one other kind of housekeeping we'll have to do before we make a motion is have two motions on the waivers. So just remind us that we need those. But okay, seeing that, let's go back up to the request for a certificate of compliance for the order of conditions that was issued previously that can't be executed due to the ZBA not approving variance. And do I have a motion to close that one?
You're muted, Betsy.
Can you repeat that again, Sandy?
Sure. So previously, when we were going through action items, we talked about the certificate of compliance for 45 Creeper Hill Road, and we delayed that.
Yep.
So we need a motion to approve that request for certificate of compliance to clear that off before we actually discuss and talk and vote on a new one.
Got it. Okay, I make a motion to approve the certificate of compliance for 45 Creeper Hill Road.
Second,
Second.
roll call vote. Betsy,
Yes.
Jonathan.
Yes.
I am also a yes. That motion carries for the certificate of compliance. Okay, so let's go back to the notice of intent, and let's go back to the two waivers. So Leah, you want to just go over the waivers really quick, and then we can do some votes
Sure.
on that?
So they're the same two as last time. Disturbance happening within the no disturb zone, as well as a lack of the 30,000 square feet of contiguous upland.
And nothing has changed in between other than some adjustments because of not being able to have an easement. Okay.
Right.
Do I have a motion on the first one for a waiver for disturbance within the no disturbance zone?
I propose a motion to approve a waiver for the no disturb zone on 45 Creeper Hill Road.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. We'll do a roll call vote. Betsy,
Yes.
Jonathan.
Yes.
I am also a yes. That motion carries. Second waiver request is for the 30,000 square foot contiguous upland area. If there's any questions on that, you can ask. I mean, we've gone through this previously, but I wanted to go through the process. So again, if anyone in the audience has a question, we'd be happy to answer any of them. So do I have a motion to issue a waiver for the 30,000 square foot contiguous upland area requirement?
I make a motion to approve the waiver for the 30,000 foot contiguous upland area of 45 Creeper Hill Road.
Thank you very
Second.
much. So we got a motion and a second. A roll call vote. Betsy,
Yes.
Jonathan.
Yes.
I am also a yes. We have a motion. That motion has carried. All right. So now we're getting down to actually issuing a new notice of intent. And I think the first thing we want to do is discuss conditions. I think the one that needs to be added that's different, Leah, is just a simple fact that some clarification on the flood compensation foot by foot to be added to the plan and clarified. And that needs to be, that revised plan needs to be submitted prior to any work commencing. You also had previously indicated, and we had previously voted for another special condition, which basically says per 310 CMR 10.53 subsection 3E, further activity beyond the approved in the reference plans is prohibited on this lot. So just so you, Scott, you understand that this is your one bite of the apple for doing work within the wetlands and so forth in the floodplain.
Mhm.
So any discussion on that, those waivers or any additional waivers? Betsy?
No.
Jonathan?
No.
Okay.
Actually, Sandy, can you just clarify for me the last condition you talked about? The activity is a one-time only.
So basically, the way the condition can be stated is just as it's written in Leah's report of further activity beyond the approved in the reference plans, meaning what we have, is prohibited on the lot. So there is no more opportunity to do any more activity within our jurisdiction.
Got it. Thank you.
Yep. Scott, have any questions on these conditions? Okay, last chance for anyone who's in attendance if they have questions. All right. Seeing that we have no other special conditions, do I have a motion to approve the order of conditions?
I make a motion, and I'm gonna bear with me on this, to approve the notice of conditions for 45 Creeper Hill Road, given the condition that the plans for flood compensation are indicated foot by foot and provided. And then, we're gonna take this in two motions?
Nope.
Sam?
Single one is good. The same,
Okay.
it's two conditions under the
And
same.
Per the agent's recommendation, activity that is indicated beyond referenced in the plan will no longer be permitted.
All right, sounds good.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Roll call vote. Betsy?
Yes.
Jonathan?
Yes.
I am also a yes. The motion carries. All right, thank you very much.
Thank
Good
you very
luck.
much. Have a good evening.
You too. All right. All right, going back to okay. So and then we have one more notice of a notice of intent amendment. Okay. And that is for 100 Westboro Road. All right, I'm in the wrong one. All right, here we go. Pursuant to the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act, the Grafton Stormwater Management Bylaw, Grafton Wetlands Protection Bylaw, Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing to act upon a request to amend the order of conditions, Wetlands Protection Bylaw permit and Stormwater Management Bylaw permit for the construction of a mixed-use development at 100 Westboro Road. Same thing, if you want to give your name and address and go ahead and go through what the amendment request is.
Great, thank you very much. Essex Petrie with Pulte Homes. Again, I've got joining me tonight, Matt Leibner of CDG and Mark Mastriani, also of Pulte Homes. We presented at last month's meeting, and I know that Commissioner Doherty was not able to join at that time. So I'm happy to rehash anything or go over anything in any detail if you have any questions on what was presented on that previous meeting.
I actually watched the entire recording today, so I'm probably more up to date than everybody else.
So just for your information, just to meet the Mullen rule and to have three commissioners available to vote, Betsy missed the last one that you had attended or presented at. So this is our way of catching up with it, and it meets the Mullen rule. If you have any issues with that, please let us know. Otherwise, Betsy will be just a voting member.
Excellent. No, I appreciate you running through that. And Betsy, again, if there's any questions on that, feel free to ask and be happy to go back in any of the details.
No, it's very straightforward. Thank you for offering that.
Great, thanks. So I'm happy to go back through any of the plan details that we ran through. Otherwise, we had a continuance primarily related to there was a peer review being done by Graves Engineering at the time of the meeting. We've since received that back, and as Graves was doing the peer review for both Conservation Commission and Planning Board, we had some responses specifically related to some of the elements for the Planning Board. But in our view, the comments related to Conservation Commission were, well, there really were no comments, actually. They were just more notifying that he was comfortable with what was provided. So I guess, Lee, I don't know if you had a different reading or if there's any other.
Nope, I agree with you.
Anything else to add, Leah, on your report? Seems pretty straightforward. Peer review's all set.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I just had some language that Mark sent over this afternoon. He's requesting that we include some language for a condition. I can read it out for you guys. It basically pertains to that these amended orders or permits, if you will apply to the whole project, even though they're going to divide it into two later on.
Okay.
Do you want me to go ahead and read that?
Please do.
So it would say the amended order of conditions, amended Grafton Wetlands permit, and amended Grafton Stormwater permit, aka the amended decisions, apply to the entire Afonso Village project as shown on the approved plans referenced herein. Afonso Village, as contemplated, will be subdivided into 2 lots and will be constructed and subsequently operated by the owner of each lot. The owner of each lot within Afonso Village shall be responsible for the construction, operation, and maintenance and compliance of the terms and conditions contained within the amended decisions applicable to each owner's lot. Violation of any of the conditions of the amended decisions shall be grounds for enforcement against the owner of the applicable lot of Afonso Village upon which the violation has occurred or the party responsible for the violation.
Okay. So I'll go to the commissioners just to make sure everyone's understanding. I think this is fairly straightforward. It's basically going to be split in 2. And this kind of dictates who's going to be responsible for each one of them, which is going to be the owner for the future 2 sites. It's kind of in anticipation. That's pretty much what it is, Leah.
Correct.
Betsy, any questions on that? Okay, Jonathan, any questions?
No, it seems pretty clear.
All right, and I'll just really quickly, I mean, Betsy watched the previous hearing. We were at the previous hearing. It's fairly straightforward. A lot of the changes that this is going through is actually, to me, beneficial as far as the of the areas of jurisdiction and what we're here to protect. It's actually less of an impact. So I have no issues with it. If there's no other questions, I will, if there's anyone in the public that has any questions or comments on this, please feel free to raise your hand. If not, we are going to move ahead with a motion to approve the amendment and to include the condition that Leah read to us. Is there anything else, Leah, that we should be looking at here?
I was just going to suggest carrying forward the special conditions from the original order. Some folks do it differently. Both end up recorded, but I'd rather see the conditions in both places.
Have absolutely no problem. Make it a little
Okay.
bit easier for any other future people or when someone gets it. I agree with that. If that's it, and there's no further questions from the commissioners, do I have a motion?
Okay, I'm gonna give this a shot. And Leah, do I need to mention carrying forward the original conditions in my motion?
Sure, why don't we do it just in
Okay,
case?
so be patient.
Just for the record. Yep.
Okay, I make a motion to approve the amended orders for 100 Westboro Road, which will include the recommended language provided in the text provided by our conservation agent and carrying forward the original special conditions of the NOI.
Second,
Second,
we have a motion and a second. I haven't seen anyone raise their hands, so roll call vote. Betsy,
Yes.
Jonathan,
yes.
I am also a yes. The motion carries.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Good luck.
Thank
Great,
you.
Thank you. Can I ask, so
Right.
when does the amended orders get issued? Is there like 20 days or 10 days? Is that?
I mean,
process?
that's the regulatory. I'll let Leah answer this since she and Jan are the one who has to actually get it done. They're really good about it, but let's, what's up?
I was just gonna say, we're held to a 21-day timeline. We do have to wait on the commissioners clicking on DocuSign and giving us their signatures, but we try to get them out the door as quick as we can.
Hey, I've been better at that. I don't
Yeah,
get
you
as
guys
many
have been pretty
emails.
good.
I don't get as many emails anymore or reminders.
And I'm the star, right? You can tell me I'm the star.
She's the star.
DocuSign, that's fancy. That's great. And
You
will-
have no idea how much that saves us because otherwise we'd all have to be trekking to the town hall.
Yeah,
You know, until we go back in person, we would typically do it the same night, but it's actually a pretty good system. Get to keep all the ones, anything I sign. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
All right, great. And will that reset the 3-year from the issuance of the amended order? So will it be good for 3 years?
it's amended. It's not new.
Okay.
Yeah. So just it's the original one. Just keep an eye on that. Obviously, always can continue that. Get an extension, I should say.
Yeah.
But
And can I just throw something out there? You might have longer than you think you have if you had those permits during COVID at all, because of
Yep.
COVID tolling. So if you want to just shoot me an email and I can confirm what your expiration
That would be
dates
great.
are.
Yeah, I'll follow up with you, Leah,
Cool.
to get that exactly ironed out. Thank you.
So we're all on the same page. That would be really, really helpful.
Yeah.
Yep.
yeah,
Okay,
the good
great.
thing is our staff is really good about keeping track of that. So that's great.
Okay, thank you so much and
right.
appreciate it.
All right. Have a good one.
Thanks. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
All right, Leah. I think we have gotten through everything, except for there
We're-
was one thing that you said we should discuss at the end. Okay.
Yeah, we're back to Highfield Subdivision has given us a draft conservation restriction.
Yep.
For any of you guys that might not know Highfields by name, it's the subdivision with a golf course in it. So this conservation restriction would be inclusive of all the open space, which does also include the golf course. So they have language in there about, you know, it also being a golf course, and they're gonna need to maintain that. They also gave us plans to show exactly where the open space is. I think we do have one attendee who remains that might want to speak to this. And then I had a question for you guys, which we don't do these terribly often, so I couldn't remember. Do we send them to town council to check out the document first, or can you just give me a little reminder what the steps are?
I would appreciate it going to town council first,
Okay.
because I'm not going to pick up on any issues with language and so forth. And I know that there's been a lot of descriptions on this. I'm wondering if we should give basically this sets forth of, you know, what the restriction is, what they can and cannot do for maintenance for the golf course. It gets into some detail. Usually they're based on conservation restriction kind of templates that the state has to be a little bit consistent. Who's holding this CR?
It would be us.
Okay, this will be us. Okay, because the owner is, okay. A lot of times, depending upon the CR, the Grafton Land Trust may hold it for us. So it's the way legalities of it, but this is fine if we're holding it because they still own the property, correct?
just confirming right now, but I believe that's the way it is written. Yes.
Okay. And just as part of the protection, when we do a CR, it also falls underneath Article 97. If anyone has questions on that, I can give a short thing, which is basically if land is, either donated to the town or a restriction is enacted to be either conservation area or open space, it's protected under this Article 97 of the Massachusetts Constitution, which gives more strength to it. It's harder to take it out. It's just a process. Any questions on this? Fun reading?
So you need me to send it to town council to check out. Are there any other steps I'm not thinking of?
Yeah, it's been a while since
I
we've
know.
done one. Town council is the key one for me. If people want to read through it and kind of understand the key things that what I look at is less the legalese, but more of what you can and cannot do under
Yeah.
the restriction. Just think of it this way, not that this has anything to do with this. Remember when we had someone looking to do some farming on one of our open space areas?
Right.
Because of how it was done, that wouldn't be allowed. So I look at what they can and cannot do to see if I have any questions on it. But other than that, I really can't. I'm not an attorney. I can't really get into the legalities of things, of dispute resolutions and all the other things are in here. But it's probably just kind of good to look at, what they're allowed to do for improvements and other things, just to understand it. But that's pretty much it. I don't know if Lee, if you have anything else to add.
No, that's all I had on this one. And like I said, they're working on closing out their orders with us as well. So this in conjunction with those COC requests can be a big September meeting topic.
Right. And if you get a chance to kind of look through the plans, you get an understanding of just how much open space there is. So. All right. I think that's it.
Do you need to make a motion on that or anything?
Not yet.
No, not
No.
yet.
Okay.
This is more just introducing it and then people having the opportunity to review it. And then once it comes back from town council, we'll have that part of it done, that it actually meets kind of the standards for a conservation restriction. All right. Anything else, Leah?
I did just want to ask you guys if anyone has any questions for me to answer about 95 North Street in anticipation of the CPC meeting on the 25th. If you think of anything between now and then you want to email me, that's fine too. That meeting is on the 25th. They'll be voting as to whether or not they want to endorse our application for town meeting.
Yeah, I don't know how, and I don't know the answer to this question. As a representative of the Conservation Commission on that committee, and this is partially coming from the Conservation Commission, if
Right.
I have to recuse myself.
I know, I thought of that too. It's weird.
Thinking the same thing. So you won't be there at all?
No, I'll be there. I just won't.
Because you're a member of CPC, so you have to be there.
Right, yeah,
You
so
you can't vote on either end. I mean, you can't vote on the CPC side. I'm sorry, I'm being.
correct, yep, yep.
Okay.
Yes.
So Leah, what I was gonna say, I was supposed to be in New Jersey next week, so I don't know if I'll be here or not because I'm still testing positive for COVID. But so you said that was a hybrid meeting?
It is, yeah.
Okay, so will either you or Jan send me the link, and if I can physically be there, I will, but if I can't, or I'm in New Jersey, I'll get in remotely.
Okay.
And that would be at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, that was my
Just
only
send me the
question.
link as well, if you could.
Absolutely. Yep.
I'll be in the same boat. I'll try. I'm not going to New Jersey. I just need to figure out my schedule. So
Sure.
hopefully I can sign on at least one or be down there in person.
Yeah, the I guess it's a little bit better now, but at first they were having a lot of problems with the hybrid. But I think it's gotten a little bit better.
And if I go in person, what room are they meeting in, Sandy?
Typically it's in the same one that selectmen's
Okay.
have their hearings in or their meetings in. All right, I will, yeah, I'll probably recuse myself from the voting. I'll get up and go sit in the audience and just be a citizen and representative of conservation, so.
So I guess, Leah, my only question would be, do you anticipate a lot of questions where you're going to need some show of representation, or like have you heard a bunch of people asking questions in the town, emails, things coming in that is flagging you to say this, or is it more just we want to be there to support it if possible? But
Yeah, it's more the latter. Jen Anderson, the recreation director, and I are partnering on this, and we went to the last CPC meeting and opened the conversation with them. They asked a lot of questions then. We discussed a lot of details about it then. This is now when they talked to everybody who applied for CPA funds last time. This time they're like picking what projects they want to move forward with. The one thing we didn't have like hard set in stone last time was the figure we were asking for, because we were trying to feel out, are we going to go full scope? Are we going to go partial scope? So we are going full scope. Jen and I are working with RDLA to scale back that number as much as possible. DPW does believe they can do more than we even thought they could, such as make the parking lot. So we're bringing that number down as much as we possibly can, and we will be, excuse me, solidifying that by this Thursday so that there's a concrete number on the application. And Jen will be there too. So in terms of answering questions, she'll probably handle most of them. And this is just really to start showing that it's not just her and I, it's the Rec Commission and the Conservation Commission, and it'll be really important for some of you guys to come to town meeting as well in the fall, should they choose to put it forward.
Yeah, and kind of the role that we can play at both the CPC, although I think that's less of a need, but at town meeting is to support it in the price tag, which is pretty high. But it's really, how you sell it and how unique this is, because it's going to be ADA accessible. So I think there's some real positives to this, not to mention the fact that this land was donated based on, a lifelong resident and her wish prior to her passing, that's what she wanted to do with this family farm. So.
Right. And Jen and I were also thinking that leading up to town meeting, we could maybe have a joint meeting, Concom and RecCom, and work on what the town meeting presentation is going to look like, and those kind of details, what graphics we might want on the screen, stuff like that. So
right.
Do you know if Ginny Ingvall's son or family are going to be there?
So we've been in touch with them throughout the process. They're not local anymore.
Okay.
I believe one of the three brothers is still in Massachusetts, but
another's
in like Alaska, and I can't remember where the third is. So I don't know if they'll be able to come or not, but we'll certainly extend the invitation.
And I think it would be important, and again, once we get to that point and have a joint thing, is to give a little bit of the history of that site.
Yeah.
And I think it would be important to, have some historical pictures or photos. And I think it might be nice to reach out to the family to see what kind of interesting stuff they have, or, an old advertisement for Christmas trees or something else.
Right.
I personally have been down the street for 32 years, and that's where I used to bring my son up in his wagon, and Bill and Ginny and Bill Engvall would be dressed as Santa Claus, and they'd have cider and hot chocolate, and you'd go out and tag your tree, the Thanksgiving Day or the day after that Saturday, and then you could go and pick it, on a certain date. They had certain hours, but it was a family tradition for us. They were the nicest, most wonderful people. And so anybody who's been any, resident, not just on North Street, but around for a while remembers that. It was a big deal.
Yeah, and that's why I think having maybe some, photos from
Yeah.
50 years ago
I
or
wish I
40 years
could
ago.
get in my attic and find some. Oh,
Now, I'm sure they have some, but
yeah.
anyway, it's just something to remind everyone.
Yeah. The one son, and I can't remember his name, used to pretty much come up and help Bill and Ginny when they were getting older. And he has, he was essentially running the show. So hopefully he could be available, if not for this, at least for the town meeting.
Right. Yeah.
Leo,
And again, it's just, yeah.
All I was going to say is one thing to consider is if they're in Alaska or just not local, they might be able to record video messages of, sentiments and things like that that we
would
could
be a great
play.
idea.
Yeah.
If there's any type of AV capabilities during that meeting. Again, just obviously we want them there if possible, but if they're traveling from far away, then
Right.
that's one way to bridge the gap a bit.
And
They may have photos too, like Sandy pointed out. They may have photos or ads or whatever, but
They've
yeah.
given us a few, but we can certainly get more.
Yeah.
and so what is the official name of what this is going to be?
So it's not exactly official yet, but what the name that the family proposed, let me find it. Okay, the name the family is proposing, but I guess somewhere along the road we'll decide for sure, is Ainsworth Ingval Farm Memorial Conservation Area.
Okay.
Full.
It is a mouthful, but you can always have an official
Yeah.
name and then
Yeah.
what is commonly referred to.
You say that Ainsworth?
Yeah, Ainsworth Ingval Farm
Yeah.
Memorial Conservation Area.
That's not too bad.
Okay. Cool.
Probably just going to be shortened to Engvall Farm.
Yes. Yeah.
Because that's what it
Inevitable.
always was,
Right.
so. But I think it's wonderful. Thank you for your work on it, Jan and Leah.
You're welcome.
Thursday nights were just are the one night I can very rarely get out. So I'm sorry that most of the meetings were on Thursday nights, but I'm a big fan.
Cool. Anything else, Leah?
Nope, that's all I got.
Not too bad. Just after 8.
Yeah.
I think we did good. When I first saw that agenda, I was kind of wincing. This is my first public debut in a month, and I thought I might collapse, but I did good.
Yep. It was good. It's, got through a lot, so that's good. And I appreciate and thank you guys for showing up. It's, I do appreciate that. So. All right.
I make the motion. Can I make the final motion of the night?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I make a motion. We adjourn this meeting.
Second.
Roll call vote. Betsy.
Aye, yes.
Jonathan.
Yes.
By special invitation, Leah.
Yes.
And Jan.
Yes.
So I'm also a yes. And that's a unanimous vote that it is over. Okay.